Hello, dear students. I am glad to meet you at our course. Today we are going to study walls. Let's start. The wall is a structural element that divides the space, room, and also provides safety and shelter. These structures support the roof, ceilings, and flooring of a residential or commercial property. Generally, the walls are differentiated into two types: outer walls and inner walls. Outer walls give an enclosure to the house for shelter, and inner walls help to partition the enclosure into the required number of rooms. Inner walls are also called partition walls or interior walls, and outer walls are also called exterior walls. From a technical point of view, the walls are divided into the following types. Load-bearing wall provides support to the entire structure. The loads from the slab transfer to the beams, from the beams to the columns, and then spread to the foundation. It is made from sturdier and heavier materials. Non-load-bearing wall or drop wall won't carry any of the weight of the structure above it. These aren't attached firmly to the structure. As such, you can easily tear it down. Non-load-bearing walls are also called as drop walls or fill-in wall. Some construction specialists and contractors refer to non-load-bearing walls as curtain walls. The thickness of the non-load-bearing wall generally lies in between 100 mm to 125 mm. Shear wall is constructed around the lift pit, water sump, or staircase to retain the soil. A shear wall is adopted to resist wind pressure and soil pressure or water pressure. These walls are used to carry the lateral force exerted on the structure due to wind, earthquake, or any other lateral load. A retaining wall is built to maintain the unequal level of the ground on its two faces. The wall, which is constructed around the pot below ground level to retain the soil at one end and land sliding after the earthquake on site. A brick masonry wall is constructed with the help of bricks. Masonry is used to join the bricks in the wall. The thickness of the brick wall could be 20 centimeters or 10 centimeters. A coarse rubble stone masonry wall is constructed with a regular size of stones which are well finished and dressed. This type of wall is generally adopted for abutments of bridges, compound walls, or boundary walls. A random rubble stone masonry wall is constructed with the irregular size of stones. A core wall is constructed from the foundation and it raised up to the height of the building. In this type of wall, the wall itself acts as a column. Core wall is built to carry the lateral force exerted on the structure due to wind, earthquake, or any other lateral load. Core walls are a combination of shear walls. A precast wall is a ready-made wall where the wall is cast in the factory and brought to site to install it. A parapet wall is constructed on the top floor of the building to prevent the falling in anything from the roof. The height of the parapet wall is 3 feet. A curtain wall is constructed with glass, aluminum, or with a steel frame. This type of walls is generally adopted in offices, hospitals, and other public buildings. A boundary wall or compound wall is constructed all around the building to show the limits of the plot. Each wall has the following components: outer layers, what you see, the innards, studs, insulation, wiring, etc. A wall of a building should satisfy the following requirements in design and construction to perform its basic function and to have an enhanced life period. Strength. A wall should be strong enough to take up the load safely due to its own weight, superimposed loads, and lateral pressure such as wind. Stability. It should be stable against overturning bilateral forces due to wind load and buckling caused by excessive slenderness. Weather resistance. All the external walls, whether of load-bearing or panel construction, should provide adequate resistance to rain, sun, and wind penetration. Fire resistance. The walls should offer sufficient resistance to fire as they behave as vertical barriers for spread of fire in the horizontal direction. So the walls should be made of a material which neither ignite nor allow the spread of the fire through them. Heat insulation. It should be possible for walls to attain insulation against heat. For this, the walls are made either thicker or cavity wall construction is employed. Heat insulating materials are also used in construction of walls. Sound insulation. The walls, both load-bearing and non-load-bearing, should be made of such materials and by such techniques with cavity wall construction, so as to insulate the building against indoor and outdoor noises. Privacy and security. The walls, particularly external walls, should also provide sufficient privacy and afford security against burglary. Internal or partition walls are typically constructed from brick or block work, or frames sometimes referred to as stud walls. Stud walls can be constructed from timber, steel, or aluminum frames clad with boarding such as plasterboard, timber, metal, or fireboard. They may also be glazed. Exterior walls can be finished with a wide array of materials and techniques. The term cladding refers to components that are attached to the primary structure of a building to form non-structural external surfaces. This is opposed to buildings in which the external surfaces are formed by structural elements, such as masonry walls, or applied surfaces such as render, screed, paint, plaster, natural stone, structural insulated panels, SIP, and so on. Cladding materials can include glazing, aluminum, stainless steel, zinc, composites, timber, tensile fabric coverings, brick slips, tile hanging shakes, and shingle (UPVC). Generally, hollow concrete blocks or perforated bricks are used nowadays for construction of building walls, as it satisfies most of the requirements. Thank you for your attention, dear students. Next time we are going to study beams, girders, and joists. See you next time. Goodbye.